In this video, we're going to go through on Maha Bodhi School 2024 end of year examination, Primary 5 Math Paper 2. So let's get started on the first question. Question 1. Mr. Tan and his wife went to the movies and both of them are above 65 years old. So you could see that the usual price is $12.50, but the 20% discount is for senior citizen aged above 65 years old. How much did they pay for the movie tickets? So for this number, okay, I think it's easy. Yeah, number of people is equal to 2, right? And then we want to get the usual price is equal to dollars 12.50, and then we have a discount, right, of 20%. Now just put 20%. So the discounted price is equal to in percentage lah. Okay, is equal to 100 minus 20. This will give you 80%. So the discounted price in this case will must be equal to dollars 12.50 times 80%. Okay, and then we can use our handy dandy calculator. 12.5, right, multiply by 80%. This will give us $10. So total will be 2 times 10 go to $20 in this case over here. All right, that's it. So we have $20. All right. Okay, I'll just put 20 just beside. All right, let's move on to question number 2. So, all right, question number 2. The number of people visiting the zoo in a year is 1,380,000 when rounded to the nearest thousand. What is the largest possible number? So in this case, for example, we have 1,000 right over here. So if I were to make this a bit bigger, so if you round to the nearest thousand over here, 1, right, in this case, then it should become 1,380,000. Okay, so if I were to put here 1,380,000, right, so largest possible number. So you might be thinking, oh, it must be 1,799,999. So you might be thinking like this, right? Where if you round to the nearest thousand, this will be 1,380. But the thing is that this is not the highest one. So let me put an X over here, right? This is not the highest one, huh? Okay, there's actually a higher one to this. So actually, if you can guess, it's actually 1,380. So if you round to the nearest thousand, okay, in this case over here, right, 0 over here, then it will still be okay. But we cannot put a 9. We can't put a 5. So what about a 4? So in this case, the answer to this is 138,499. So 138,0499. Okay, so basically when we want to round up, so I don't make this rate. So when we want to round up in this case, right, then we are able to. So since 4 is less than 5, right, then that means in this case over here we will round down. Round down is not is less than 5, less than technically 6 lah, right? Then we will round down, so that means this is will be this over here. Okay, so this is not the biggest number, this is the biggest number over here. Okay, so I'm gonna put the curly brackets this case. Ta-da. All right, so I'm gonna make this black. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 3. Okay, Sue had a bottle of cooking oil. She used an equal amount of oil each day. So at the end of the second day, she had 1,400 milliliters of oil left. And then on the fourth day, she had 1.9 liters of oil left. How much oil did Sue use each day? So if I were to draw a more simple thing, so second day, all right. So first day you use something, right? Second day you use something. Third day you use something, right? And then fourth day you use something, right? So this is how it looks like, right? So at the end of the second day, you're left with 1240 milliliters, and then of the fourth day, you're left with 1.09 liters. Okay, so at the end of fourth day, the end of second. So that means from the end of second, so you use on the first day. So second is 124. At the end of the fourth day is 1.09. Okay, so in this case over here, we use on the third and fourth. So that means in a way there's two gaps, which is equal to, so we have 1240, then we have minus. So what is 1000, 1 point, not 1000, 1.09 liters is equal to, so 1.09 times 1000 equal to 1090 milliliters. So two gaps, okay, 1090 milliliters. All right, so or 2 days equal to this, right? Okay, so this will be, let me use the calculator, 1240 minus 1090. Okay, this will be 150 ml. Okay, so one day or each day is equal to, oops, 150 minus divide by 2, okay, equal to 75 milliliters. So that's the answer, 75. Okay, so yep, there you go. So for every single day over here, they will use an amount, right? So hopefully this makes sense. All right, so let's move on to the next question. Question number 4. A pail with capacity of 12 liters was filled to the brim with paint. Caleb transferred the paint from the pail into some containers. Each container could only hold 400 milliliters of paint. In the end, 2 liters of paint was left. How many containers did he use? So let's make this a little bit easier. 12 liters equal to 12 times 1000 equal to 12,000 milliliters. 2 liters equal to 2 times 1000 equal to 2000 milliliters. Right, so it was filled to the brim, 12,000. He used a 400 ml container to transfer out. So that means transferred out is equal to 12,000 minus 2000 equal to 10,000 milliliters. So number of uh, container used to transfer is equal to 1000, and then we divide it by 4. Sorry, not 1000, 10,000. Okay, so 10,000 divided by 400 milliliters, this should be 25. Okay, so if I were to say 10, 1, 2, 3, divide by 400, should be 25 containers. Containers. Therefore, that's the answer, 25 containers. So let me just put a comma so it's easier to see and not get confused over here. Comma, put here, comma, put here, comma. Okay. Alrighty, let's move on to the next question. Question number 5. So it says here the table below shows the average overseas postage, not average, overseas postage rate. Mrs. Chan sent a set of cards weighing 260 grams to her friends in Malaysia. How much did she pay for sending the cards? So mass weighing up to 20, 50, 100 grams. Okay, so 260 grams, right? We will use the first 100 grams. We will use the first 100 grams, which is equal to $1.50. Okay, so then we are remaining 260 minus 100 go to 160. Okay, so next one is number of additional 100 grams or part thereof. This is 100 grams thereof is equal to 160. Okay, and then we divide it by this 100 grams. So this will become 1.6, right? So if we were to round off, this will become 2. So then, so remaining cost, remaining cost will then be 2 times 1.2 equal to 2.4, $2.40. So total cost will be 1.5 plus 2.4 will be $3.90. So the answer to this is $3.90 over here. All right, let's move on to question number 6. Question number 6 says Alistair and Bevan had stickers in the ratio of 13 is to 3. Both of them had a total of 272 stickers. How many stickers did Bevan have? So in this case, we can say total units is equal to 13 plus 3 equal to 16. All right, and then 16 units is equal to 272. 1 unit is equal to, so we can go 272, and then we divide by 16. This will give us 17. So 272 divided by 16 equal to 17. So Bevan has how many units? So Bevan has 3 units. So 3 units is equal to 3 times 17. This will give us 51. So 3 times 7 times 17 times 17, 51. Okay, so that means Bevan has 51 stickers, sorry, not tickets. All right, let's move on. Edwin had 3 times as many stickers as Bevan. How many stickers did Edwin have? So that means Edwin Edwin is equal to 3 parts, and then Bevan is equal to 1 part. So and Bevan is also equal to 51. Okay, so that means 1 part is equal to 51. 3 parts is equal to, in this case, 51 multiplied by 3. Okay, this will be 153. So multiply by 3, 153 over here. 153. There you go. So the answer over here is 153 in this case. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 7. The square grid shows the position of 8 points. Fill in the blanks with north, south, east, or west. Okay, so we have B over here. So B is something of A. Right, so this should be on the left side. So this should be B is north. So this is south, then east, and then the west. Right over here. Okay. So in this case over here, B is what of A? So of A means is this. So it will be pointing to B. Let me make it red. So in this case, it should be EE. So this is east. Right? Okay. So then something of E, B is something of E as well. Right? So you have E. So let me make a circle. So E is pointing to B as well. Right? Like this. So that means this is, you guessed it, north. Right? North. So it's over here. So maybe this, I'll make it. Ooh, that's big. Oof. Right. Yeah, I think this is fine. Okay, let's move on. So Faris stood at one of the points facing B, right? After he turned 90 degrees clockwise, he faced C, right? So which point was Faris? So that means when he turned 90 degrees, then he so was facing something like this, and then he turned 90 degrees, he faced C. So Faris stood points facing B over here. So in this case, I think I've shown the answer lah. So after he turned 90 degrees, he faced D. So that means if he is, in this case, showing here, wait, let me change it. So if D is showing B, then he point 90 degrees. So this, then like that, and then I have another arrow, right? And this will become full. So essentially, right, he basically turned this way, right? From B to C. So the answer to this is D. All right. So that's part B. So part C, Mei Ling was standing at point E facing point D. So Mei Ling is point at point C pointing D. So let me have another point. And then this is this. Okay. So maybe blue. All right. So she turned 135 in an anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise. So 135. Which point was Mei Ling face? So in this case, uh, right angle is 90 degrees, and then half of right angle is equal to 45 or 90 divided by 2 equal to 45 degrees. So that means it's 1.5. So 135 degrees is equal to 1.5 right angle. Okay, something like that, right? Or 1.5. So she turned 135 NT. So that means here she turned, copy and paste. So I'm gonna still point here 90 and then 45, which is H over here. So this was the original, and that's what she's pointing. So this should be H over here. H. All right, let's move on to question number 8. Question 8 says Sandy spent 5/7 of her money and Kevin spent 2/5 of his money. After that, they had the same amount of money left. The total amount of money left was $180. How much did they have altogether? First, so we know there's fractions and we know that at the end they have the same amount. So this is what we call same fraction concept. Okay, right. Oops. Okay, so basically what we need to do in this case is we will just, okay, so Sandy spent 5/7. So that means Sandy left is equal to 1 minus, and then we have 5 over 7, right? With this over here, all right? 5 over 7, okay? And then what would this become? So 1 minus 5 over 7 will be 2 out of 7, okay? So we just calculate this, 2 out of 7. Okay, what about Kevin? Okay, Kevin, a copy. And then Kevin, how much is he left? Kevin, so 1 minus 2 out of 5. Okay, in this case, this will be 3 out of 5. So we know that 2/7 over here, 2/7 of Sandy money, okay, is equal to 3/5 of Kevin's money. I'll just put here Kevin money. Kevin's money, right? So what this means is we need to make numerators numerator the same. So for this, we basically then just multiply. So this 2 times 3 multiplied by 3. Okay, so in this case over here, 2/7 multiplied by 3, and then this will be multiplied by 2. Okay, same goes to this at the end as well. So with this, we will have this, which is, let me just remove the multiply. So 2 times 3 is 6. 7 times 3 is 21. So 3 times 2 is 6. And then 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, so this is, I would say, step 1, right? Step 1 is equal to this. So for step 2, right? Step 2, basically convert fractions to units. So 21. So Sandy total money is 21 units. And then Kevin's total money is 10 units, right? So in this case, I'll just put a rectangle. It's a bit small. Okay. So 21 units, make it red. Then yeah, over here is 21 as well. Then 10, oops, right. So this one will be green, right? And 10 units. Okay, so we know that Sandy total money and Kevin's total is 10 units. All right, so total amount of money left was 180. So that means 6. So Sandy money left is 6 units, and Kevin, right, wait Kevin money left is also 6 units. So that means the total units, total money left is equal to 6 plus 6 equal to 12 units. So, and we know that means this is 12. Total money left is also equal to $180. 180. So 12 units is equal to dollars 180. 1 unit is equal to 180 divided by 12, and this is equal to, so 180 divided by 12, $15. Okay, and then how many total units is equal to 21 plus 10, this will be 31 units. So 31 units is equal to 31 times 15. Okay, and then we can just multiply this by 31, will be $465. Dollars 465. So that's the answer. Dollars 465. Why is it green? Blue, medium. Yes, let's go. All right. Okay, let's move on to the next step. To the next question, question number 9. So Mr. Sunil's salary was $4,250. So he donated part of it to charity A and charity B in a ratio of 4:1. The amount he donated to charity A was $340. So how much did he donate to both charities? So we know that charity A is 4 units, and then charity B is 1 unit. We also know 4 units is also equal to 340. 1 unit is equal to 340. Okay, and then we divide it by 4. It should give us $170.85. Okay, so let's double check using our calculator. So 340 divided by 4 is 85. So 5 units. So total units is equal to 4 plus 1 equal to 5 units. So 5 units equal to 5 times 85. This will just be 425. Okay, we multiply this by 5, 425. So the answer to this is 425 over here. Okay, alrighty. Let's move on to the next question. Question B, part B, right? 9B. Find the percentage of Mr. Sunil's salary that was donated to both charities. Okay, so basically salary is equal to dollars 4250, and then donation is equal to dollars 425. So percentage of donation, right? Percentage of donation of salary, okay, is equal to basically we will have 425 divided by 4250. Okay, I'm gonna put this line. Okay, So like this, right? Okay, and then we multiply this by 100%. So 100% multiplied by 425 divided by 4250. That's what you see over here. Okay, can we divide both of them by 425? Yes, we can. So we divide this by 425, strangely. So we divide this by 45 and we divide this by 45. Okay, so that means in this case 100% will be multiplied by, okay, in this case 1 out of 10, right? Lucky us. Okay, so from here, I think from here you can guess this will be 10%, right? So 10 times 1 go 10%. Okay, percent. So we can actually cancel 10 or 0, and then we can also cancel the 0 over here. All right, there you go. So the answer to this is 10%. Right, so 10%. Very good. Let's move on to the next question, question number 10. So the table shows the price of tickets for a concert. The number of adult tickets sold was 6 times as many as the number of child tickets sold. So you see $23 and $15. So total of $20,000, 20,196 was collected from the sale of tickets. How much was collected? So in this case over here, this is what we call grouping concept. Okay, I think. All right. So what this means is that so we know that the adults tickets over here sold 6 times as many of the child tickets. So what this means is that one group is equal to 6 adults plus one child. That's what this means, lah, right? So one group. So one group total or one group amounts is equal to 6 adults, which is 6 times 23 plus one child is 1 times 15. Let's use our calculator. 6 multiplied by 23 plus 1 multiplied by 15. Okay, this will give us dollars 150 1153. So number of groups is equal to 20,196. Okay, then we divide it by 153. Okay, so what would this give us? So 20196 divided by 153. This will give us 132 groups. Okay, so from here, how much was collected from the sale of adult tickets? So with this, so we have so one group is equal to 6 adults. Okay, right? So that means 132 groups is equal to 6 adults times 132, which is equal to, so this multiplied by 6, this is 792 adults. Okay, so that means so so one adult is equal to dollars 23. 792 adults, right, is equal to 792 times 23. Let's use the calculator. 792 multiplied by 23. This will give us $18,216. And that's the answer. $18,216. All right. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 11. So Miss Lim bought some identical notebooks from the bookshop. For every 4 notebooks bought, she received a fifth notebook free. Each notebook cost $2.45. She gave the cashier $65 and received the change of $3.75. How many notebooks did Miss Lim get from the bookshop altogether? In a way, this is, you can consider it as a grouping kind of concept. So first, basically, uh, the amount she paid is equal to 65 minus 3.75. Okay, we use our calculator. 65 minus 3.75. This will give us dollars 61.25. Okay, so then we know that she paid $61.25. Okay, from here we know that she each notebook costs $2.45. So number of books, notebook, right, is equal to 61.25, and then divide by uh, 2.45. Okay, so from here we divide by 2.45. So this gives us 25 notebooks, right? Okay, so the thing is that she bought 25 notebooks. So what is the additional notebooks she get? So that means if she buy 4 notebooks, she will get uh, 4 notebook, one notebook free. So she paid 25 notebooks. Yeah. Okay. So that means, whoops, 25 notebooks is equal to 25, and then we divide it by 4. Okay. So from here, she'll get around, she'll get, so we round out to 6 notebooks free. So total notebooks is equal to 25 plus 6, which is equal to 31. So in the end, she got 31 notebooks. Yay, that's a lot of notebooks. All right. Okay, let's move on to question number 12. It says here in the figure, ABC and ADE are identical equilateral triangles. So that means these are literally equal. So it says here identical, right? So everything is the same here, here, and also here. Okay, so AHE is a right angle. So you see here, G and F are points on line B and C. So G and F are points line in B and C. Then BA, F, B, what's it? BAF is equal to CAF. Okay, that's why it's over here. BAF is equal to CAF. All right. So find CAF. Okay. So since it's an equilateral triangle, um, so angle, let me angle BAC is equal to 60 degrees. Okay. Right. And then basically angle CAF is equal to angle BAF, right? Which is basically okay lah, 60 divided by 2, which is 30 degrees. Okay, all right, pretty straightforward. So this is 30 degrees. All right, next one, find FGD. So FGD is over here. So we know that this is 30 degrees, right? So the next thing is we want to know FGD. So actually FGD, since they are straight lines, so what we can do is we actually can get, if I were to put this, small FGD is here as well. So if we can get here, then at the same time, we also know that this one, I'm gonna put this as red. Okay, never mind. Oops. Okay, so here I want to make this red. We also know that this, okay, is 60 degrees as well. So this is 60 degrees. And we also know that this one is also a right angle. That's what you see over here. Okay, so I'm going to put this as blue, right? So we can get FGD. So angle, right? Oops, angle. Okay, this is EGD is equal to angle FGD, right? EGD is equal to FGD. No, EGC. So EGC over here, right? It's the same as FGD, right? So I'm gonna make this medium and black, right? So angle EGC is equal to 180 minus 90 minus 60, and this is equal to 30 degrees as well. Okay, since EGC is equal to FGD, This is also equal to, in this case, 30 degrees as well, right? Okay, so therefore, this is 30, right? 30 degrees. So we also want to say DHC, yeah. So we also want to say that this AHE, AHE is equal to DHC, right? Or GHC, which is basically, in this case, 90 degrees lah. Okay, 90 degrees, right? Okay, so pretty interesting to see this as well. All right, that's it. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 13. So it says here, Mark received 2 Bs and 2 Cs in a public speaking competition. His average score was 74. Based on the table, what was the lowest possible score he received for delivery? So it's just only delivery over here. Okay, so we know that there's 2 scores, 2 Bs and 2 Cs. The average is 74. So what we can do is uh, average is equal to 74. So total is equal to 74. Okay, number of scores, grades. Grades is equal to, in this case, 4. So total is equal to 4 times 74. 28296. Okay, let's double confirm with the calculator. 74 multiplied by 4. This will give us 296 over here. Okay, so 296. Then for this, we know that the total is 296 based on the table delivery. Okay, so audience engagement is 80. So audience, so it has 2 Bs, right? 2 Bs and 2 Cs, right? So that means for audience engagement is equal to 80, which is 1B, right? Then we have content, right? Audience engagement scored 80, which is 1B grade, right? So content scored 68, which is equal to, in this case, 68 is 1C grade. Okay, so that means if you want the lowest grade, it should be 1C grade, right? So from here, we know that the total is 296. So body language plus delivery, right, is equal to 296 minus 80 minus 68, and this will give us, so 296 minus 80 minus 68. Okay, and this will give us 148. Right, so in this case, from 148, we want to get the lowest possible score he received for delivery. So for C grade is 50. So that means, let's say 148. So lowest grade, and so for lowest grade for delivery, or I would say body language, can be from 70 to 84. 70 to 84. Okay, to 84, and then delivery can be from C grade 50 to 69, right? Okay, so if I want to get so for delivery to be lowest, body language must be highest, which means 148 minus, so that means body language is equal to 84, then delivery will be equal to 148 minus 84, and 148 minus 84, which means this is 64, which is what 1C grade this case over here, right? Okay, so the answer should be 64. Right, okay, let me put this a bit higher. Oops, like this. Okay, 64 in this case. All right, let's move on to question number 14. So question 14 says, Anson has a triangle piece of paper A, B, and C, and then with AB is equal to BC. Okay, so I'm gonna draw this. Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, so then ABC, all right, is equal to 38, and DEC is 34. All right, so ADC and BEC are straight lines. ADC and BEC straight lines. You follow the piece of line shown below. What is X? Okay, so in this case, okay, what we want to know is we want to know ACE, right? So I'm just gonna put this as red. So since we know, okay, so we want to say that ABC is equal to is an isosceles triangle. Okay, not again. Isosceles. How do I spell isosceles? Isosceles. Without the C. Okay. Isosceles triangle. So for angle ABC, okay. So ACE, sorry, ACB, right? ACE is equal to 180 minus 38, and then we divide this by 2. Divide this by 2, okay, and this is equal to, so 138, okay, so 138, 180 minus 38 is equal to 142, divided by 2, this will be 71. Okay, great, so this is 71 degrees. Okay, so we know that this 71 degrees is over here. Okay, 71 degrees. So that means this is also 71 degrees. Oops. This one is also, hopefully they drawn to scale, but doesn't matter, right? Like this. So this is also 71 degrees, right? So that means in this case, this is X. So I'm gonna draw, right? I'm gonna draw this. This is also X, right? In this case over here, right? This is X. Okay, so that means, right, angle X is equal to 180 minus 71 minus 34. Okay, so 180 minus 71 minus 34, this will give us 75 degrees. Degrees, I can put here degrees. Okay, over here. So that is A, 75 degrees. Right, over here. So if I were to draw this, then angle X, and then this is also 34 lah, in this case over here. So if I were to draw this as purple, right, purple, no, Oop, this is purple. Okay, this is also 34 degrees. Okay, in this case, right, over here. Right, so yeah, then I'll just put this over here, this purple thing. Okay, 34 degrees. Alrighty. Yes. All right. So in this case, so eh, so angle, I'll put here lah. Angle EDC C is equal to angle X. In this case over here. Okay. So angle X. So angle EDC is equal to this. So that means, okay, which is equal to 75 degrees. Right. Same. All right. Let's move on. Find Y. So we have Y over here. So what is Y? So if I were to draw this out from the line, that's what you see over here. Okay, so this is actually 34 degrees as well, right? Same, sama. So it's actually just 180 minus 34 minus 34, and you get Y. Yeah, so that's about it. So what I can do is 180. So angle y, angle, right? So this angle, right? Y is equal to 180 minus 36, 34, and 34. So 34 times 2, 34 times 2. So 180 minus 34 times 2. This will give you 112 degrees. That's what you see over here. Right, so the answer to this is 102 degrees. All right. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 15. Right, this is going to be a tough one. A rectangular piece of wood had a breadth measuring 112 centimeters. It was cut into 7 small identical rectangles as shown. Find the area of the piece of wood. Okay, so for this, okay, what I'm going to do is, this is basically, right, this solid. Okay, so this whole thing, this is the breadth, right? So breadth, okay, and then this is the length, right? So I'm gonna, okay, this one not so equal, but not so straight, I mean. So this is the breadth and this is the length times breadth. Length and breadth. Okay, length times breadth. So this is length, this is breadth. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna color this as red. Okay, and then I'm going to show the lines. That's what you see over here. So it's easier for me to reference. Okay, like this. So this is the breadth. Okay. Okay, good. And then I'll just put here as here as well. Okay, so and then I'm gonna put this as a black. So we know that 112 is equal to length plus breadth. That means this over here is two length, right? One over here. So this is one length, and we have another length over here. Okay, so this is two length as what we see, and then we also have breadth. Okay, so in this case, this over here is breadth, right? I have breadth, so I'm gonna just put B, B, B. So breadth is B, bracket B, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have 5 breadth. Okay, so from here, can we, in a way, find a way on the area of piece of wood we use? Can we measure what is the breadth and height over here? Actually, we can. So what we can do is, first we know that 112 is equal to length plus breadth. Okay, then we also know that two length is equal to, so how many breadth do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Two length is equal to 5 breadth. How amount of breadth? Right? Okay, so in this case over here, can we do something about it? Yes, we can. So either way, you can swap things in. Two lengths equal to 5 breaths, right? And then one length plus one breath is 112. Okay, so with this, we can say, let's make it easier. So if we multiply this by 2, 112 times 2 is equal to 2 length, right? Plus 2 breath. Something like this. So we just multiply this by 2. This will be 2 to 4 is equal to 2 length plus 2 breadth. Okay. So now if we were to swap the 2 length and 2 breadth, in this case over here, then what we can do is, so swap 2 length with 5 breadth. Okay. So this means 2 to 4 is equal to 5 breadth plus 2 breadth. Okay, so this will become 2 to 4 is equal to 7 breath. I should just okay, either way, then 1 breath is equal to 2 to 4, and then we divide it by 7. So in this case, 2 to 4 divided by 7, this will give us 32 centimeters. Okay, so since we know 1 breath is 32 centimeters, so 1 length is equal to 112 minus 32. Okay, so 112 minus 32. This will give us 80 centimeter. Okay, so now we know one length and one breadth. We want to get a piece of wood, which is everything over here. So one rectangle area is equal to 80 times 32. Okay, in this case, multiply by 32, 2560 centimeter square. Okay, so this one rectangle area, we have 7. So 7 rectangle area, okay, is equal to 7 times 2560 is equal to, so we just multiply by 7, 17,920. So 17,920 centimeter square in this case over here. Okay, and that's the answer. 17,920 centimeter square, or you can convert it if you want. Yeah, so that's the answer. Alrighty, let's get it. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 16 over here. So 16, since your study pattern, no need. Just look at the number over here. Right, you have figure 1, 2, 3, 4, white squares, and then gray squares over here. Right. So how many white squares are there in figure 5? Alright, so over here we have 3 to 5. So this will be plus 2. Right? 3 to 5 is plus 2. 5 plus 7 is plus 2. 7 plus 9 is plus 2. So what is 4? I mean, what's the fifth one? I think pretty straightforward, right? So white squares in figure 5 is equal to 9 plus 2 equal to 11. So the answer to this is just 11. Right? Pretty straightforward. In which figure will there be 100 white squares? So we just want to see white squares. So question 16 part B, in which figure will there be 100 and white squares? Okay, so from here, we just want to see the pattern. So figure 1 is equal to 3, figure 2 is equal to 5, figure 3 is equal to 7. Okay, so we know that this is the same as, okay, this is equal to 0 plus 3, or is it 0 plus 3? Okay, 3 plus nothing, 3 nothing, just 3, right? And then this is equal to 3 plus 2, and then this is equal to 3 plus 4, right? So if you can see the pattern again, so this is 3 plus 2. So no, this 3 plus 2 plus 2. Whoops. Okay, I messed up a bit. Okay, so can you see the pattern over here? So this plus 0 lah, technically. Right? So that means if you were to multiply this, so this is 0 times 2, then this will be 1 times 2, and oops, this one, and then this is 2 times 2. So how do we get 0, 1 and 2? Last one, magic, 0.3. So basically, in this case over here, 1 minus 1, minus 1, then bracket, times 2, like this, right? Okay, and then 1 minus 2 minus 1, and then this will be 3 minus 1. Okay, I don't need the brackets actually, because we multiply as what you see over here. Okay, like this. So hopefully this makes sense. So that means figure n is equal to 3 plus n minus 1. Okay, and then multiply by 2. Okay, so in this case, in which figure will there be 101 white squares? So 101 white squares. So if you know the figure already, then we can work backwards. So in this case, the answer, so figure, the third equal to 101, right? So 101 is equal to 101 is equal to 3 plus bracket n minus 1 times 2 in this case, right? So from here we can just put uh okay, yeah, okay, so that means we minus 3. So 101 minus 3, where 1 101 minus 3 is equal to 98. Okay, so 98 is equal to bracket n minus 1 multiplied by 2. So we can, okay, let me have this over here. So then we can have 98 divided by 2 equal to n minus 1. Okay, 98 divided by 2 is what? 49, which is equal to n minus 1. So n will be equal to 50. There you go. So the answer to this is 50, right? So if I were to double check, okay, so I will double check 49. Ah, correct. Correct. Yeah. So if I were to use my calculator, so we have 50 minus 1, which is 49. We multiply by 2 equal to 98 plus 3, which is 1. So the answer is 50. All right. Okay, let's move on to C. In which figure there will be 256 gray squares. So gray squares over here is a bit different. Gray squares is plus over here is 3 and then plus 5 over here. Okay. 5 and then this one. Oh, sorry, not plus 5. Okay. So for, okay, this one is actually pretty straightforward. Go on. So figure 1 is equal to 1. Figure 2 is equal to 4. Figure 3 is equal to, what do you call this? 9. And then figure 4 is equal to 16. So do you see any similarities? So this is actually, right, equal to 1, 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, and then 4 times 4. So if you want to have a more advanced of things, what this means is that if you want to get this figure, n is equal to n times n, right? So how to get 256? You actually can use this thing called uh what is it called? Uh this thing called square root, right? So you can square root 256 and then this will become 16. So if I will say 16 multiplied by 16 is 256, right? So the answer is 16 as such. All right. Let's move on to the last question, which is question 17. Aini saves 611 of her salary every month. However, in December, she saved $50 more than she usually saves. With the remaining, she spent one fifth of it on a pair of shoes, $40 on transport, and $200 on food. How much did she save in December? So in this case, this is what we call the remainder concept. So I'm going to use the branching method because this is a bit more, I would say, advanced, but also faster and easier to do. Okay, in my opinion. All right, so we have the total money and such, right? And then in this case over here, she saved 6/11 of a, what do you call this, salary, right? Okay, sorry, not total money. So salary, right? So she saved 6/11 on the salary. So 6/11. Okay, always save your money, guys. Save, right? And then after that, she also saved $50 more. So we need to say plus 50. Whoops, plus $50 in this case over here, right? Okay, so we need to say this as well. All right, so in this case, what is the remainder? So you go salary, and in this case, what is the remainder? The remainder is 511. Okay, 511 is the remainder. However, we also need to do something over here. we need to minus $50. Okay, so why we need to minus $50 is because this is the total sum. So when you add together, it should be one whole, right? So 50, if we don't minus 50, it will be one whole plus 50, which is not what we want. Okay, so this will be the remainder. So let me put it here, something like this, right? Or okay, like this lah, right? So 511 is the remainder. Okay, so this is the first part. Okay, let me put this a bit towards here. Wow, ooh, you. Okay, okay, okay. Wow, so weird. All right, never mind. So with the remainder itself, then she spent one fifth of the remainder. So over here, she spent one fifth on shoes, right? So 1 over 5, and this is on shoes. Okay, and the rest, right, over here is on transport and food. Okay, so in this case, it is basically dollars 200 plus dollars 40, which is equal to dollars 240. Okay, so in this case, I would say transport and food is equal to 200 plus 40 is equal to dollars 240. Fraction for transport and food is equal to, okay, so transport food, fraction for transport food from remaining, okay, that's very important, is equal to, right, 1 minus 1 over 5, right? So just put this over here, right? And what will this become? This will be equal to, right, 4 over 5. Okay, so this one, let me just grab this, right? And then here as 4 over 5. Okay, so we can say here, right, at the same time, I also want to get this part, right, to put it here. 4 over 5 is dollars 240. Okay, so now you can do a couple of things lah, right? So in this case over here, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to convert into uh, units, right? So transport, okay, so I will say 4 units is equal to, no, yeah, dollars 250. So 5 units is 240, sorry. Okay, so this is remainder, just wanna take note of remainder. So 4 units equal to $240, and then 1 unit is equal to 240, and then we divide it by 6. This will be dollars 40. Then the total units is 5 units. Okay, which is two four. Oh, sorry, divided by 4. So this is 60, right? So 5 times 60. This is equal to dollars 300. Okay, so 5 units the total. So maybe I'll just put here lah. So 4. So 4 out of 5. So it means transport and food is 4 units. Total is 5 units. Okay, and this is for remainder. Okay, just gonna put it here, remainder, right? Okay, so now we get the remainder. So now we know the remainder itself, right? The next thing is, let me put, oh, this one not enough space, let me put a line here. Okay, so it's over here. Okay, so the next part is we know that the remainder is $300. So that means this over here, 3, right, which is this thing. Okay, 511 and $300 is equal to 5/11th of the money. Okay, because the remainder itself is, oops, okay, like that, right? So okay, I'm gonna put it outside here. Okay, so 300 and okay, $311 was the sound. Okay, and then I'm gonna put a line here as well, so just to block it. Okay, the aura is back, guys. Okay, so 5/11th of salary. So 5/11 salary. So the next part will be we just add together. So dollars 300 plus 50 is equal to 5/11th of the salary. Okay, oops, right, 5/11. Okay, and this will then become 350. So 5/11th of the salary of salary is equal to, actually I put here, is equal to dollars 350, and then 1/11th of the salary, okay, is equal to 350, then divide by 5 equal to $70. Right, let me see if I can move it a bit to the left over here. Okay, right, something like this. Gonna put like this, right? So $70, and then 11/11. Oops, 7/11. So 11/11 of salary is equal to 11 times 70, and this 350. So what do you wanna? Oh, how much you save? Oops, 6/11. So 6/11, or the salary is equal to 6 times 70. Also, like on the loop. Okay, and this is equal to $420. Woo! Hello. Okay, $420. And that's it. So the answer to this is $420. Okay, so we were looking for how much she saved. Okay, but is it 420? You see, plus $50. So that means in this case, she saved in December. December save equal to 420. I don't want to center this. Right, 420 plus 50, and this will become $470 in this case over here. All right, there you go. So the answer to this is 470. Okay. Whew. Okay, go on, guys, go on. All right, very good, very good. So that's about it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below and comment down what other videos you want me to go through next, or what other papers you want me to go through next. All right, see you in the next one. Bye bye.